Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one, too, and all in between. This is for the absolute positive, bigger, better, good God, and truth of you, for everlasting with peace. For today's discussion, I'd like to talk about the bad, evil, sinful victims and crooks of you. Well, as I've stated in other videos, all faith, right, is a lie. It's a crisscrossing lie at any time on what's positive and good, crossing blind, negative, undefined, and unevolved at any time. And the reason why I state this is because if you feel any negativity, right, and you go from the inside out at 360 degrees and only cross one more positive than that negativity, well, that's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now, alive and well. You can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die a bad, evil, sinful way of victims and crooks, that rightful, truthful way. But back to what I was stating. Because our leadership doesn't always do this, or doesn't always know to do this, or doesn't know the absolute value of why they should do it, they state through their faith that things cross bad, evil, sinful, and they make us victims and crooks in a world of slave masters, with a ridiculous police state all over the globe. Listen, I'm going to explain something to you. If you're the leadership of anybody, right, and you're not trying to make all involved in anything that's negative more positive from the inside out at 360 degrees, your leadership is trifling. And in reality, right, it's the decay and disintegration of everything you are in body and matter, and anything that's following you to the reality check of your matter. See, since the beginning, right, if Adam would have crossed Eve back one more positive as his only example, then all nutty, fruity faith that will have you hallucinating negatively that you have crisscrossed some bad, evil, sinful way, right? We'd all be good. That'd all be the truth. There'd be no bad, evil, sinful way. There'd just be a whole bunch of negative stuff that we have to consistently cross more positive from the inside out to keep us good at 360 degrees. But because we have no overall understanding of it, we have no value to it, no lasting value to it, okay? The average person, right, that has any kind of mind, right, will say and agree, if it feels more positive than negative from the inside out, right, it's good at 360 degrees, okay? And when it's not, right, it's not bad, evil, or sinful. It's just negative to the good truth of you being more positive than that, to the absolute bigger, better of you here and now. And because no faith values this, right, and through the decision making of them, they do cross a bias to what is more positive and good. All faiths do it as truth, because if not, they'd all be the good God and truth of us. The lasting, bigger, and better consistently of always what we should be. But instead, we got wars, prisons, victims, crooks, and a whole bunch of stacking of the deck on the reality check of mankind all over the globe. And it's a whole bunch of nonsense. See, when you cross devilish, right, devilishly delusional, right, with the hells of you, that's just, you can only do it one way. You can only do it negative with negativity, okay? And when you do that one too long, it's like anything, one negative too long, right? It crisscrosses, fouled out, and raptured up out of reality to the good truth of its shape, form, mass, not being able to be expressed here and now anymore. And as a fact of God check, right? You only cross negative to the one nothing of you here and now, infinitely with the devilish hells of you. See? Now, I know this as a fact. Every particle of your body is made of atom matter. And this atom matter only bonds one more positive than all negativity to make the good truth of your shape, form, and mass expressed here and now. It's a reality check. It's the neutral nothing of you. And without you bringing everything you are negative by the value of a good life back more positive as truth, right? You are in a state of decay and disintegration, an unevolved way of faith. See? When you take on the fruit of faith instead of doing what's more positive always to keep things good as truth, right? Well, that's the static, twisted, scattered, undefined negative way of everything that isn't more positive and good as truth as that. And if you're some sort of leadership, right, from the president of your country all the way down to your lowliest government officials, right, including your religious authority, if you're not taking all you are as far as mankind goes and only crossed it more positive always as your leadership than all negativity, right, and you're stating that things cross bad, evil, and sinful, right, and you're stating that victims and crooks are necessary evil, well, you're out of your mind. Or your jails and prisons are some sort of necessary evil for these fools, you're out of your mind. Listen to me, man. You can't hate for hate and expect that to be the positive, good God and truth of nothing. You can't do negative to people, right, and expect that to be the positive, good truth of God of anything. Because it's not. It's just the negative of you, right, crisscrossing negative with them, right, to one nothing of you here and now, eventually aged up out of reality to death. Or however that negativity destroys you. See, if you don't go splat, you can always do more positive from the mind through your body to the world than that. If you have a mind to think about it, or if you know you're even supposed to be thinking about it, okay? But we live in a constructive lie, see? And Jesus knows what I'm stating to you today, right? Where your head goes, your body must follow, if it's still attached, right? And if all you do is state yourself more positive than any negativity from your mind through your body to the world, well, at 360 degrees, if something happens to where your head isn't conscious or your mind isn't right, your head's still attached, right? That's all your body could ever be, is more positive than all negativity. That's the only thing it knows. That's the good truth of its shape, form, and mass to the here and now of reality check. See? And that's why it's so important, see, to be more positive than negative always. It's the substance, durability, and solidness. It is the value and volume of all density, durability of shape, form, and mass, man, to the reality check of their volume. You hear me? And without knowing this, right, you know, you're a fluctuation of positives and negatives, constantly blind to the negatives of you, thinking you're in some bad, evil, sinful way, right? But the only thing you're doing is being negative with the negativity, because if you don't know to always cross that back more positive, right, that will keep you good as truth. It's the only way to add you up and keep you good as truth, right? All you can do is suffer and die of that. And that's why people at every age die, because if you don't know that from the smallest to the biggest, right, you could die at any time of that, because you're no good as truth. Never ever you're just negative to what's good as truth of your shape, form, and mass being expressed here now, always. And depending on how negative things become for you, man, is depending on what age you die at, how you die, and where you die. Don't be that guy. Never ever, you hear me? If you made it past infancy and you got a mind, listen to me. What I know today, I knew at age 3, you see? But I didn't know how to express it because I live in a world that is of faith, fully blind and undefined to the fact that they need to value with these words what is more positive than negative always to keep us good as truth. And if not, they're just a bunch of sold out lies of faith. See, no faith is good as truth. You understand? And if that's a fact, right? Because if it was good as truth, it wouldn't be faith. It'd be good truth always. You understand? If that's a fact, then it's always negative to what's good as truth. And the only lie you will ever know in this life, right, is a negative one on you to what's more positive and good in your life as truth to only make you bigger and better. And, you know, I feel like this, and I've said it in other videos. I'm a father, right? If I don't take care of my children, right, make sure they have all they need, right, to eat and have a good home and good food, right, and a good education, I'm neglecting my children. Okay? If you're the leadership of this world, right, and you don't make sure that we have the proper things that we need, housing, food, education, right, you're neglecting us. Every time you build a prison or a jail, right, instead of sparing no expense, right, to take what you call victims and crooks of a bad, evil, sinful way and make their lives nothing but more positive and good for your middleman experience and payday, you are a lie on them, you're a lie on yourself, you're a lie on your family, right? And that is just negative to what's more positive and good for the whole of society. You should always just make people want to get along. Some people won't get along. Some people are so negative it will be the 1-0 of them. But until they get there, you do your best as the leadership of them to be more positive than that by an example, to show them a good way as truth to only make their lives bigger and better. And you don't tell them lies of faith. And you don't cage us and enslave us and chain us and bore us with these lies of faith. Because if you do, they will destroy you for what you are. Devilishly delusional. An antichrist with matter, man. You are a bias to what's good matter as truth here and now. Right? Not bringing it back more positive, and you are the negative of it, man. And all things creation of existence that's more negative than positive, they will cease to exist at any time. For the lie they are, the negative lie they are, on the positive, good God and truth of all reality check, only crossing bigger and better. And that's a fact of God check to anybody who thinks they're in authority, to anybody who thinks they're more powerful than what I'm stating, to anybody, right, who wants some. That's a fact of God check. God, truth, a reality check. Peace.